Good morning, people of the earth.
We interrupt our program at the request of the White House.
This is a test.
Some very strange events have been taking place recently.
The emergency broadcast system,
This is only a test.
furnishing news, official information, and instruction as soon as possible.
Is there a point to all this? Let's find a point. The world is like a ride at an amusement park.
This is only a test.
This is just a ride. And we can change it anytime we want. It's only a choice. No effort, no work, no job, no savings of money. A choice right now between fear and love.
A small group of warriors have taken up the fight on your behalf.
It's been activated to keep you informed.
The earth is where we make our stand.
You, the people, have the power to make this life free and beautiful.
People of the earth.
People of Earth.
If you are not
People.
tuned to a station furnishing information for your area.
People of Earth, we are back with another virtual guest, and this is one of my longtime favorites. I'm talking about somebody that I used to love watching when I worked in the comedy club, someone that I feel honored to have become friends with in my own comedic journey as I'm watching this guy go through his career and fucking climb the rankings. This is one of my absolute favorites. Without further ado, please welcome Chris Riggins to the podcast. Chris.
Hi, people of Earth. What's going on with you weirdos?
What's going on with you
What's up?
weirdos? Exactly. This is the place for us weirdos.
You know, the funny thing is when people say that thing weirdo, I think everybody's a weirdo. Because if you look, have you ever just sat and looked at people, like even beautiful people? Like just stare at Brad Pitt's face for a while. You're like, he's got a weird little nostril thing.
You know he's got a
That's
thing.
weird.
He likes
I'm
to
sure he
come
has a
home
fucked
and
up toe.
strut around the house in his whitey tighties or whatever, like fucking the dad from Malcolm in the Middle. What was that guy? Bryan Cranston. That's what it is. Yeah, you know Brad Pitt walks around in whitey tighties.
Yeah, well, he's a conservative, so that's what they wear.
They strip down at the end of the day. It's not putting on a uniform. It's more of taking everything off.
Taking off the uniform to put on the uniform. Once you take it off, you'll never put on another one.
Well, yeah, dude, we're carving out a little weird corner of the internet for ourselves and getting this podcast up. And I wanted to have you as one of the first couple of guests because you were one of the first people that like really made me fall in love with local comedy. I mean, you were all over the map. And so anytime that you would come in and stop in, it was like, this is someone that shot up the rankings in San Francisco and is now out, you know, touring around the country, always somewhere, always doing something. But then you would pop in and headline all of these local shows and all the hella funny showcases. And it was always like a head snap moment for me when I was running around the club and you hear Chris Riggins. And I was like, oh shit, got to stop what I'm doing. I don't care what task Marcus just gave me. I'm fucking sitting down.
Man, I just like comedy. I don't know. It's the only time I feel in complete control of life.
Yeah.
You know? It's really and I think you probably know that feeling. You're talking to a comedian. You know the feeling where it's like, yo, I completely control everything on this 8x12 section of the earth for this next 7 to 10 minutes or however fucking long I'm up here.
Yeah.
And it's a sense of freedom. So I just like being up there and having that freedom, no matter where it is. You know, I got to go do a show in Sacramento this week at a people who are COVID fears are gonna fucking hate me, but it's an indoor private show.
And
it's at a
at
very
the French Laundry
small venue. I don't even know if that I didn't know it was that big. But I think what it was a combination of me wanting to get on stage and this person offering a stage and then not asking enough questions. But it's gonna be fun. I'm gonna have a good time anyway.
Yeah, it is always
just
you do land yourself in some of those gigs where you don't ask quite enough questions. We kind of were on one of those in Half Moon Bay when we showed up
at that Derek the Destroyer.
Oh,
man.
Derek is
that
the
was
realist.
Fun.
I love Derek.
I mean, yeah, that's definitely a situation where I should have asked more questions. I mean, I think I understood because at that venue, I've done several shows like that. Actually, I think that's the that's venues kind of like thing. That's what they've been doing.
Yeah.
I did a hip hop show there. My fam, DJ True Justice and Z Maney, and a couple other cats from the Slap Frost tour. So I've been there doing that. So it wasn't a surprise. It was just, it was a different experience when we did it. Like we had a green room. We had, we had the whole nine, and this was very bare bones.
Yeah. We're literally sitting up in the crowd, and then he's like, all right, come up on stage. And then I'm performing for you.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
I mean, I never knew how many people ever watched that thing. Like,
I didn't go back and look. I think you just unplugged your mic.
Oh shit.
Oh no, you're all good. Sorry. Yeah, I don't know how many people watched, but I know there was like,
Oh, I know what I did.
There's probably like a dozen people in there watching. So it was like a little bit of an audience with just like the crew of everyone that was recording and.
Oh, wait a minute. Did I do something?
No, you're all good. I still got you. Can you hear me? Oh, we might have lost the headphones maybe.
Hello?
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
All right.
Let me try to unplug these headphones back in real quick.
No worries.
There we go.
There it
This
is.
should be wilding out, son.
This is just the world we live in now. We're all trying so hard to connect.
Right?
We just want to connect so bad. And our headphones don't.
Back in the day, if that happens, you're just like, fuck it. You hang up, you go.
Yeah.
Now you're like, no, I need this connection. Don't go away, friend. Don't leave, friend. You're like the Hulk in fucking Ragnarok.
That is so
Don't
fucking funny.
leave, friend.
That's so true, dude. If I ever disconnected from a FaceTime pre-2020, I'd have been like, fuck it. Who cares? On with my day. They'll call me back if it's important.
Exactly. They'll call you back if it's important. But these motherfuckers be like, you lose a FaceTime, people take it real personal now.
Yeah, because we're living for this. It's all we got.
It's all we got.
It's all we got.
We'll have more.
Yeah, I know.
Honestly,
it's around the corner.
I think what's gonna happen is after all this, it's gonna make people realize how important personal socialization communication is. Like, I think you'll see we'll steer away from the phones as soon as we're able to interact in a way that doesn't require such precaution.
I hope so, dude. You remember like the first week of this shit, everyone was like the best neighbor they've ever been. And people were like looking out for each other and they're like, you doing all right? Yeah, this is crazy, right? And it was like, it felt like you were just in an episode of The Simpsons talking to the Flanders or some shit. And now, now here we are. But
like, as soon as they open the shit up, oh shit. Y'all just holding that in.
I hope you're right, though. I'd like to think there's a little bit of a pendulum swing, and once we come back out, we're all going to appreciate it a little more.
Well, I think the only issue is, will it be safe to come back out? Because I have a feeling the violence is going to spike this summer. I have a feeling as soon as people are allowed out,
oh man,
a lot of Facebook beefs will be ended.
They're finally going to set the duel time.
I've been waiting all year to shoot this motherfucker. I'm about to shoot him now.
I fucking hope not, dude. I hope. I mean, I'm there's a lot of pent up shit, and it's gonna come out in different ways. There's gonna be people hugging. There's gonna be people fucking throwing hands. But hopefully, it's more of the first and not too much of the latter.
Mostly married couples will be throwing hands.
I had
I see it.
Interesting conversation with my cousin about COVID relationships and what it's done, and I think it really it's like almost a bit of a coin flip, and it's gonna go one way or the other. You're either gonna like really fucking bond and tighten down and be like, this is my person through thick and through thin. But then it kind of makes you look at your relationship a little bit more with a fine-tooth comb, and you're like, man, if this really is the end, is this the person I want to spend my life with?
Yep.
Is this,
that's another point.
Yeah.
Like, can I get through a pandemic with this person?
Yeah. Turns out for some people, the answer is not yes.
No, it isn't. And honestly, I tried.
Yeah.
I think for me, the reason why it didn't end sooner is because for so long I was like, I don't want it to end during the pandemic. I want it to be like, I don't want to think the pandemic played a part in this.
You want it to think it's its own thing and not have it as an excuse.
Yeah. And as much as I like to think it didn't play a part, it did. I mean, we were spending time together that we had normally spent separate to become more fond of each other.
Yeah. Yeah, I had a bad relationship that I was in going into this, and it was like the first 2 months, it like helped me kind of contextualize all the bullshit I was putting up with, because then it's just like every single day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Pretty much. And you start weighing it against, okay, if I am to get this deadly virus and die, is the last things I want to be doing?
And the answer is no. I don't want to be fighting over what the fuck we're going to watch tonight. And you know what? I don't want to watch your bullshit. I want to have the roommate the way
was over dish detergent.
Ugh.
The last fight we had was over dish detergent. And it was after we had broken up, in a sense, and she was moving out, and I was just like, I was perturbed because in her move out, she was taking stuff that, you know, was hers, and that's fine. But she was taking stuff that I thought was for the house, like dish soap.
Yeah.
And so she had packed the dish soap up, and I'm like, I'm washing dishes over here. And I just felt like, okay, do you have to take the dish soap? So I snapped. I lost it. It was my fault. I should have handled it better, but yeah.
But it's like, you know, why clean out the supply closet as well? But then she's probably like, what, I don't have dishes to go wash whenever I'm going to go, wherever I'm going to end up.
I get it. But I mean, damn.
Yeah, I know. The dish soap.
So small. We've been, you know, your rent was free for like damn near 2 years. Calm down. Let me have the dish soap, boo. Leave me
something.
Dish soap.
Leave me something.
You know what I'm saying? Maybe it might be a last memory of you. Maybe it might be the dish soap that I need to hold on to remember, so that way I can move past.
Help me clean my act up. Leave the dish soap.
You know what I'm saying? Don't be so stingy. It's not always about you.
Well, let's see here. We can't start off too negative. It's not all deadly viruses, breakups, and throwing hands on the way out. Let's look at some.
It's gonna be great.
Yeah, I mean, I can't wait till we can hug again. I miss giving you hugs.
Oh, dude. Hugs are gonna be amazing. Like, I feel like that's what's gonna step up the hug game. Oh my god, motherfuckers are gonna have such serious hugs. It's gonna be like bap, bop, bop, bop. And you gotta
and they're gonna be hugs that last just a little bit too long, but we all need it. We're all gonna hang on just a second longer than we're supposed to, but we know that it's the hug we've been saving up. We just needed to get it out.
Somebody's get drowned. That's all I can say.
So, dude, how long have you been doing stand-up now?
11 years.
11 years.
Yeah, too fucking long.
So so where did you start? Did you start in the Bay Area?
I did. I started right here in Oakland, at the new parish, and that's the crazy thing is I'm coming full circle because I'll be starting a new show at the new parish.
Hell yeah.
Coming up soon. I don't know what date, so don't ask for dates yet, but I will know soon, Austin.
Yeah, this will be out in 2 weeks, so I'm sure the people that listen to it can seek out that information, and hopefully in May or whatever the fuck we're all vaccinated, they can come out and check out a show.
Oh yeah, vaccinations. Get your vaccination, people.
Yeah, get your superpowers while they're hot. Are you going to be one of the Marvel Johnson & Johnson people, or are you going to be one of the DC Modernas? Where are you getting your powers?
I want to be a Marvel vaccination hero. I feel like I'm more like I just watched that Justice League joint, and I'll be real. I mean, the only superhero in that universe I want to be is Superman because it just seemed like the nigga could do what he want to do.
Yeah.
I feel like, you know, in the Marvel universe, it's more like realistic. Like, oh, super serum. Yeah, I can see that. I could totally see that. And some dude from another planet. Yeah, I could totally see that. But I don't know if I'm buying
mother boxes.
Yeah, I'm just not buying. There's a cyborg. I'm not buying that.
Yeah, I wanted to like Cyborg more. Because I watched Teen Titans as a kid, and Cyborg was always like super fucking chill and funny. And then Ray Fisher is the actor's name? Yeah. He was a little cold for me, but you know, whatever.
Well, Cyborg's supposed to be cold. He's a fucking cyborg.
Yeah, all right.
He's supposed to be cold. But here's the thing about Cyborg that actually I'll put like this. Did you see the first Justice League?
Yeah, this one is definitely better.
Way better. And honestly, I felt like this one made all of them look more useful. Because that first one, Batman looked completely useless. I was like, why are you even there, Batman? Why don't you just send them to do it and you stay back in the manor?
Yeah.
You're not cut. Like, you're useless. You have no superpowers. You're getting old. Superman threw you to the side like a rag doll.
Have Alfred make you some tea. Sit this one out.
Yeah, right. Send the actual Amazonian who's got powers. the dude who can fucking reverse time with speed, and the dude who knows what the fuck is happening. Those three could have handled it with Superman.
Mm-hmm.
But you had to go. I mean, I guess you helped, but
yeah, I guess it's hard to make Batman kind of relevant without going full Iron Man with him, right? Like, you know, he's in the comics, they can pull it off, but cinematically, he just kind of looks like everyone. I don't know. He's just kind of running behind everybody, trying to keep up.
Yeah, like they're super speeding to shit, and he's got to get in the car.
Yeah, and he's just like, I
I
gotta reload this grapple gun real quick.
Yeah, I gotta go get weapons. Like the fight's right here. Why you gotta go get weapons? The fight's here. You didn't bring enough? No, I didn't bring enough. I only brought one car, a couple of grenades, and this thing that shoots rope.
Yeah, well, hopefully we get the Johnson & Johnson Marvel powers, and we're more legit than Batman, and it all works out.
Well, you can get Batman's powers don't work for me.
No,
you know, just on GP, you know,
on GP.
And I'm sorry, if Superman had been a brown alien, I don't think he'd have been seen as much of a, you know, American hero.
What do you think about they're doing Black Superman?
I think it's amazing. I think it makes more sense. Like if you scientifically look at it, anybody that would get their power from the sun would naturally be brown.
They'd have a little bit more melanin in there. Yeah.
I mean, they didn't even make Superman Italian. They just made him straight up white guy. It's like, you could have made him like a Greek motherfucker. You know what I'm saying? Like a olivey colored white dude. No, I made this motherfucker pale white, and he gets his power from the sun. How Superman? What sun? Because the sun, I know, that burns white people.
Mm-hmm. All right, I like that. That's a good take. And so you're right. It's rooted in some actual science too.
Yeah,
you think they're gonna get Michael?
All get power from the sun.
Do you think they're gonna get Michael B. Jordan? Is that confirmed?
I don't know. I'm not ready for him to be Superman, Black Superman. I feel like, I don't know. I feel like somebody unknown. I don't want Michael B. Jordan, because here's the thing. I'm very snobbish when it comes to my universes mixing.
Mm-hmm.
I sat at Justice League and I was pointing at everybody who was in Justice League that's also in the Marvel universe. And I'm starting to petition to get them removed from the Marvel universe because they have betrayed us.
The turncoats.
They are turncoats. They have over here being in the Marvel universe and the DC universe. Don't work that way. There's only one universe, and that's Marvel. Like, the DC universe doesn't seem real to me. Also because it's not based on real cities. Like, I get Metropolis is supposed to be New York.
Mm-hmm.
Gotham is supposed to be Chicago.
Mm-hmm. But
it's not really based on any real geographical spots. So for me, it's like, who cares? But like Marvel, it's like, oh shit, that could really happen in New York.
Mm-hmm.
Crazy. They don't ever do shit on the West Coast, so I'm waiting for Marvel to come to the West Coast.
Yeah, they had that like one scene where Iron Man's house was falling. It looked like it could have been in Malibu or some shit, but they stay away from the West Coast.
Man, in the first few Iron Mans, he was living in California. Then he moved to the Stark Tower in New York.
Well,
he was living in California.
You're probably not going to find any superheroes in California. All the East Coasters, they've got priorities, they've got goals. Californians were like, man, fucking Thanos, dude.
Dude, Thanos, man, he probably just needs some good weed, man.
Yeah, they're like, we'll get around. We'll get around to helping out.
Have you tried this Kush Thanos? It's called Snap Kush.
Dude, speaking of, watching you roll that blunt is like, this is the biggest tease in the world. And then you're holding it right in my face as if to pass to me. I just want to reach out and grab it.
Oh my God, sorry about that. That's right. You guys are in like a real studio, so you can't smoke.
No, I know. Yeah, I wish I could get like a little
terrible
casino filter in here or something.
That's terrible.
You motherfucker. I do miss all the spliffs out back behind Cobb's after your set, or. Ooh,
excuse me.
Work it out.
You got a cough to get off.
I know.
Oh shit.
Ooh, that one hit home.
Yeah, some nice Mendo breath I got from Lit House.
Nice.
Lit House.
Lit House.
They actually do it. Lit House has a great indoor and outdoor line.
Yeah, speaking of being indoor, nothing like having a smoker's cough in the middle of this pandemic. I hate like just having a spliff or a smoke in my car, and then I go inside anywhere and I'm just choking it down.
Yeah. Yeah, people like, oh, you got the COVID? No, you see me smoking this blunt.
Yeah.
You know, blunts make people cough. So why are you asking me about? No, I don't have COVID. If I had COVID, I wouldn't be smoking and I wouldn't be standing here.
Just want to bring the roach in like a pass and just wave it above my head, like it's not the COVID. It's just I'm smoking. Yeah, it'd be nice to be smoking out back behind Cobb's right now. How did you get in? When did you first meet the Hella Funny guys? How early into your career did you get souped up by them?
Actually, it's weird because I met Phil first, and Bryant first.
You were the only person I've ever heard call him Phil.
Oh, I mean,
Phil. I know, it's so funny.
That's because his name was Phil. So, Phil Woods, I met him first, and then I met him and Bryant together because they worked together, and I went and started doing comedy with them. And then this was before Hella Funny. And then me, Phil, and Bryant had something called Be Funny.
Mm-hmm.
It was an open mic we did the New Parish, which was like, pretty big because like we had, Dave Chappelle came through one night and brought Chris Tucker and like stuff like that.
Oh, shit.
It was pretty dope.
You guys had Chappelle and Chris Tucker roll through an open mic one night.
Yeah, it was pretty dope. But we started doing that, and then through the Brainwash, that's when I met Stroy. And he was hella funny. It was just him, and then he started doing shows, and we just started doing shows together. And for the longest, I think I did his first show. He did, we did his first show in Berkeley on University at this little cafe. Irene 2 was the headliner.
Huh. Wow. That's like, it's like the whole graduating class, but back when you guys were freshmen. That's funny.
Yeah. And at that point, I've been doing comedy for several years at that moment. So, but yeah, it was fun.
So you kind of have been watching these guys come up because you were already embedded in the scene, making your moves, moving around, and you guys just kind of joined forces and decided to roll with this Hella Funny brand.
Well, Stroy been building it with other people, with Phil and like Ahmed and all the other people that work with him, and then he just kind of asked me to come on and start hosting stuff more. And so, I had to, explain to him, yes, I had to explain to him, I'm definitely down to host, but I'm a father too, so I need to get paid.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you can't pay me at stage time.
Mm-hmm.
So, after that was cool. So we just, started working from there and more, and then, just doing shows, and now we're building more stuff. So I'm hoping in the next year to get Hella Funny viral, or at least get it, online or streaming or something like that.
Yeah. Have some sort of recurring viewership online, or like a little. I mean, this has been an interesting, eye-opening experience, right? That now there are little virtual comedy clubs and hangs, and not everyone's got a Zoom show, but I mean, to those that have established that, you've got a kind of recurring fan base and people that are checking in for that virtual comedy experience rather than the live. And it's, interestingly enough, it seems like kind of different audiences. There are some people that love live stand-up, and then there are some people that just want to be at home and want to consume it from home.
Yeah. I mean, the funny thing is, like, I do some of these virtual shows, and it's the same people over and over again.
Yeah.
So it's like, oh, shit, I got to do new jokes. It's the same people
damn,
over and over again. Because they know they go just to every virtual show, and that's fine. That's dope. But, these people, also, I think the virtual show opened it up to people that have never been able to go to comedy clubs.
Sure.
Like, I know there are people that don't like to go to comedy clubs. They feel like they're going to get picked on, or they're going to get made fun of. And some people can't. They just physically can't get out the house. So this is good for them to be able to see comedy like anybody else. They can set their house at like a comedy club and put us on a big screen TV at the house, and boom, there you got it.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a very good point. Oh God, the new material every week thing, that must have been so good for you. I mean, it's probably very daunting and annoying to have to deal with every week, but in retrospect,
that's why I kind of gave it up. That's why I stopped doing weekly Zoom shows, because it was like doing a show on Thursday and then doing a show on Saturday and trying to write a bunch of new material and always have something new to talk about was just exhausting, to the point that I didn't want to do the show no more. I'd stop. I forgot about booking the show. I just like some shit. One show I completely forgot about. I didn't even do. Like, people were logged in waiting for a show, and I was like, sleep.
Well, that's like it's you can write during this time, but it's like the not having new shit to talk about is a big one for me. It's like, you only do so many things in a day now. So you're not getting a whole lot of new fucking input and new experiences that you can then talk about and translate into comedy. And we're all kind of having the same muted down experience. There's just not as much to comment on. I don't know. At least that
pretty much.
It seemed like I was kind of chasing my tail when I was writing a little bit as far as trying to find new things to talk about. I would have to go back and like say, all right, well, let's talk about my divorce again, or let's talk about fat camp and try to fucking figure that out. But
it's only so much you talk about. And I have to, and at some point, the COVID jokes are going to run dry.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just not going to be funny anymore. It's just going to be like, okay, what else?
Yeah.
You know, like I even noticed comedy shows now that, you know, people are doing less jokes about COVID. Like I noticed a lot of comedians are doing jokes that I haven't heard them do in years.
Bringing them back.
Bringing back old shit. Like as if this whole year didn't exist.
Yeah. Let's just sweep it under the rug and we'll just brush past it. Yeah. I can't hate that mentality. That's kind of what I'm doing. I'm ready to see the other side, baby.
Yeah.
You had, I mean, you looked like you had a fun, I mean, no one's had fun this year, but I did enjoy watching your 2020. You were out on the road. You grew your hair out and dyed it. You got the glow up going on. I love it.
It's been fun. Like, honestly, it was like, I think for me, 2020 was needed because it did make me kind of focus on self and like kind of like turn away from what's going on inside. I mean, not without issue, but you know, still, it's just one of those things where it's like, I think the pandemic affects everybody differently. It can affect you negatively, positively.
Yeah.
Some people it does affect negatively. Some people have kind of declined, and other people have gone up, and that's just because, you know, people react to things differently.
Yeah.
And in this whole thing, there was no playbook for how to react to it.
Yeah.
And,
So it's on you.
I noticed there were people who were really dependent on being out in the public, who didn't know how to react to being at home by themselves or being forced to be with themselves, as opposed to being able to disguise it with a bunch of people, a bunch of drinks, a bunch of alcohol, you know, a bunch of different shit.
Yeah.
You know, I wonder about my cocaine community.
Yeah. How are they doing? Has anyone checked in on them?
Bathrooms are no longer you know, cocaine is not a COVID safe activity. Sharing straws and dollar bills and drugs.
Well, it's actually the perfect time to be a cokehead because now you don't have to share it at all, which is what you've always been chasing.
Right?
You've never wanted to share your cocaine, and now you have the perfect excuse. Bro, I'm sorry, it's COVID. You know, I would.
Yeah, I would. Yeah, sorry, you can't put it on the bathroom counter anymore.
Well, it's funny to hear you say that it was an important time to get your shit together because I always felt like you always had your shit together. I mean, I've just been a huge fan of yours, and the fact that you've been a father throughout this, becoming a comedian is such a fucking wild ride and such a crazy journey, and it's so complicated. It's fun, it's wild, it's interesting, but it's also very complicated. There's a lot of shit that you got to push through, and I just always loved that you had your family, you were a good dad, you'd show up, you'd kill, and you just, at least from the outside looking in, I want to let you know that it always looked like you had your shit figured out and you were gaming the system.
And that's kind of like, that was the problem. Having the image on the outside and not having the image on the inside is the whole issue.
Yeah.
And that tears you apart because after a while, you can only hold that image outside together for so long before people start seeing cracks and start seeing in there like, oh. And then when you don't do it in a self-reflective way, then people start pointing out your flaws in an attacking way.
Yeah.
Now you're under attack. Now you're the enemy because, you know, you presented such a perfect exterior.
Yeah.
That when there's cracks in it, people can't wait to point those out, as opposed to when you point out, hey, this exterior has fucking cracks in it, then people are like, oh wow, okay.
Well, that's like, yeah, I mean, everyone's a fucking critic, right? And everyone is going to police anybody who's taking risks and taking chances and living their life according to, you know, their own guidelines and their goals. And yeah, I don't know, man. I hear you. It's tough when you see someone like that, though, why does the world want to see the cracks? You know, why do we want to pick at the cracks and say this guy's not perfect? Let's fucking, you know, let's expose what's really going on. Rather than
it's easy to point at somebody else's cracks.
It's just
easy to say, hey, this person has cracks, instead of saying, hey, I got cracks too.
Yeah, exactly.
You know?
Why not do that? And it's just as easy. You could pick at the crack, or you could just kind of cover it up like that and be like, it's not, you know, it's nothing. We've all got that.
I mean, it depends on what the crack is, though.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
You know what I mean? If the crack is self shit, like, you know, hey, you're just an asshole. Okay, that's a crack. That we can deal with. But if the crack happens to be that you're a rapist, well then, whoa, buddy. Yeah, that crack has to be exposed. We got to talk about that crack, buddy.
Yeah, that's a little bit more of a chasm.
That's
yeah.
It's
a gaping
chasm,
hole.
You know what I'm saying? It's not a crack, that's a chasm. So, but I mean, it's just people want to be better than somebody else.
Yeah.
And not out of any hate for those people, but just because, in a sense, I guess we all feel like nobody's in the world. There's billions of people on this planet, and who is anybody? You know, like, you know, we have these celebrities who are known to everybody.
Mm-hmm.
And then we have celebrities who are known to a few.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? And then we got ourselves. Who knows us? You know, where's our place in the world? You know, and a lot of times it's easier to fit in when you just jump on a bandwagon of piling on somebody else's misfortune.
Yeah.
You know, someone else's misfortune means no one's looking at my misfortune. If I'm pointing my finger over there and everybody's looking over there, then I can be flawed over here.
So it's just misdirection and avoidance of, you know, having to address anything personal and internal. So you're just misdirecting it onto somebody else and saying, hey, everybody, look at this guy.
Yep, narcissism.
Look at this guy, Chris Riggins.
That's the classic sign of a narcissist.
Yeah.
Like, you know, I had a friend who this is my friend. You know, I over the years we became really close with my brother.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I love this dude, but I found out that through other women and my sister basically, that he's been abusive and he's been taking advantage of women and, you know, trying to get underage, you know, just a lot of stuff that I'm not down with.
Yeah.
And upon calling him out about it, at first he was very much like, yeah, I did all these things, my bad. I'm going to get better. But then his narcissism kicked in and it became, you know, why aren't you focused on yourself? Why aren't you focused on your friend Talib Kweli? Or why aren't you focused on this person? Or why aren't you focused on that? And it's like, oh, okay. Now that shows.
Yeah.
So it's like people like to say they're trying to improve, but the work is a lot harder than saying it.
Yeah, that's the truth. I mean, I think we all fall into that. I know that I avoid the hard work sometimes, but I think broadly that does sound very applicable to what's going on. People are avoiding doing a lot of that self-work, that self-checking, and so they're just checking on everybody else.
Yeah.
To see if they can find a crack to pick at.
Yep. And that's how we get the climate of QAnon folks and and anti-vaxxers and these. It's just like I can't understand these conspiracy theories, but I can understand how people are latching on to them, because when there's so much uncertainty and you don't know, it's easier to latch on to something that is wild.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm just gonna go for the wildest thing because I don't know what's going on, so I'm just gonna assume that's what's happening. And that way, also, if it's less than that, it softens the blow. It's like, okay, it wasn't apocalyptic. It was just, you know, okay, you know, and then it's not as bad as you thought it would be.
Yeah.
And so it's just people are just vulnerable, and the problem is, in mass amounts, people can be stupid as fuck. In mass amounts.
Well, that's
people
the problem is
with
herd mentality, you give up all of the individualistic thinking and all the things that make you a unique mind and a critical thinker. When you start conforming to general opinions and running with the pack, you know, the pack doesn't move with finesse. It's all just straight ahead. Yeah. Plowing through everything.
The pack goes off the hill, then everybody goes off the hill with the pack.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. You don't even see the cliff coming before you're fucking halfway off it.
And you're like, what the fuck? I follow the pack. And the funny thing is, like, there's always people in the pack say, I'm an independent thinker.
Yeah.
Like, you're thinking like everybody else in the pack.
Yep.
Like, yes, you are all a pack of independent thinkers.
Yeah.
I guess you're right. Technically, you're right. Your thought is independent of ration. Your thought is independent of sense. So run with it, buddy.
Well, it's shitty that that's out there, but I've always enjoyed living in the world that it felt like you and I were a part of, or the same universe that you and I came from, which is wanting to, rather than pick at people, prop them up and support them. And I don't know, I just want to get back to that place where everyone's trying to champion everybody else. You know, you want to see everybody be the best they can be. You're enjoying your environment. You want to see other people succeed just as much as you want to see yourself succeed. Yeah. And it's not about trying to fucking sweep the legs out from somebody that's a couple laps ahead of you in front of in the race, or, you know, or whatever.
You just gotta do it. Like, that's the thing I've learned. You gotta do those things, and people will see those things, and then people realize, oh, I can do those things too. I think a lot of times people just don't think they can do that because they feel if they do that, they're gonna lose something. Because also we just grew up in a super competitive nation. We grew up in a super competitive culture where it's like it's never been preached that there's enough for everybody. The only thing they've taught us is you have to get it before the other person. The early bird gets the worm.
Yeah.
Hey, did you know there are a lot of worms out there?
Yeah.
If you go, you know, depending on where you go, there's afternoon worms. There's night crawlers too. Oh,
afternoon worms.
So many different worms. There's earthworms. You know what I'm saying? There's centipedes. There's worms that come out in there's worms in the water. There's worms. You just have to. What kind of bird are you also?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Are you an eagle? Eagle's not scooping down to eat a fucking worm. Eagle's picking up a rodent. The fuck? So not all birds are eating worms. So that's the kind of philosophy people get, and they get it indoctrinated in their head that that's how it has to be, instead of, oh, I can get mine and we can get it. Oh, we can both get it together. Oh,
exactly.
They don't think that way.
Yeah, it's a scarcity mentality. It's that we're living in a famine and there's not enough for everybody. But in reality, it's like, just like you said, you dig your fist in the ground, you're going to come up with some fucking worms. They're there for everybody. I look at the world that way, is that we're all in this foolish game that we've kind of made for ourselves, where we think we're in competition rather than realizing that we could be in cooperation.
Exactly.
And exactly. I think it just takes a choice. It's the type of person that lends a hand down rather than trying to swat away, you know. And like in the example of you and I, you know, I'm this young kid at a comedy club, working, watching, learning, trying, you know, my first little Bambi leg sets. And, you know, all of a sudden this guy that I really respect and admire and have watched for years starts giving me tips and pointers. And I'm like, why is this person deciding to help me? Because no one else, you know, people don't do that, it seems.
Let's put out a vibe. It's like, you can tell people who are genuinely nice, good people. And then you could tell people who are just, you know, manipulators. They know how to play the game. And, you know, like, I've dealt with people in this game who you put them on your shows, you put them on, as soon as they get a show, they're like, oh, yeah, I'm all booked up.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
And I'm like, all right, cool. I'm not mad at it. Like, you know, I was supposed to be on a pretty big 420 show this year, and I was juiced, and I got a call yesterday saying I'm not on the show anymore. And it's like, I'm really pissed off about it, but I'm not about to go off about it, you know, whatever. Because the thing is, 2 days before I got that call yesterday, someone is begging me to host their 420 show for a lot more money at a different venue. And I'm like, you know what? That big show, that show I could be doing this, I guarantee you, Austin, that show is going to get me at least 10 to 20,000 Instagram followers just from being on the flyer. You know what I mean? It's that big of a show. But then I'm thinking about it. I got somebody who really wants to work with me, like hitting me up. Yo, did you check on that other show? Like, when I told them I was on the other show, they said, well, can you come do a set? I mean, I really want to work with you on this. They're eager to work with me. Yeah. As opposed to, you know, having to, you know, get put off show. I don't even know why I got off shows. It's not even whatever. You know, I'm not mad at people who did that. If it's business, it's probably a business decision. I get it. Whatever. I'm not pissed off.
But it's these people that are treating you like you're pieces on their chessboard and just kind of moving you around versus, like you said, someone that really does, you know.
Yeah, and here's the thing. Don't get into it. The people that I understand the reason why they do stuff like that. It's not like they haven't done stuff for me. They've done a lot for me. They've put me on bigger stages, and I get it. Sometimes shit happens, so I'm not really mad about it. But at the reason why I'm not mad about it is because I do have somebody else that wants to really work with me. So it's like when one door closes, another window opens type of thing.
Yeah.
For me. So I think a lot of people don't need to just recognize that, there's a difference between real energy and manufactured energy.
Yeah. That was, someone told me once that people either have windows or mirrors when you look in their eyes. They're either bouncing the same shit back on you or they let you in.
Yep. Pretty much.
Yeah, so I think that's kind of how I perceived it too. I just felt like you were a kindred spirit. I felt like you were somebody that believed in cooperation more than they believed in competition. Competition, has a place, a time and place, but like
the reason why I don't do comedy competitions is because I don't feel there's any competition between comedians.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not competing against you to be funnier.
Yeah.
I'm competing against myself to be funnier than I was, or be better, or grow. What I want to do is I want to have a good show. So I want you on the show because I know Austin has a great energy, and he's a good person to put in the middle of the set when things lag a little because he has a great pickup. I'm looking for people that are complimenting instead of, trying to, like, there's some comedians who I don't get this shit. They're worried about who's on the show.
Yeah.
And they're really like, well, who's closing? Well, who's going? I don't want to go after this person. I can't. I don't want to go. And it's just like, just get on the fucking stage.
Yeah.
Shut the fuck up. Get on the stage. No, that person's not tripping on you being on the show. Why are you tripping?
Yeah, and don't be so business-minded about it, or like trying to manufacture every little element about it, because then it starts to lose some of its natural ajus. It's the essence of it. You're going to take away from that creative, fun environment. You're making it a business decision where it's like, all right, A and then B must follow A, and then we have to go with C. It's the only choice that makes sense.
If you want to do that, be a promoter. If you want to do that, be a comedy promoter. Don't be a comedian that puts on shows, because comedians put on shows just to have stages, basically, for themselves. And I get that. But also, when you put the show on, don't look at it as it's just your stage. Look at it as you might be creating a stage for the next person. And the way I always look at it is, what I do for you now you might do for me down the line. Like, who knows? Austin, you might, audition for a movie and become a mega big, star. And then you're sitting there thinking, I need a comedic relief for this action flick. Let me call Chris Riggins because he helped me out. And then I'm not even asking for it. You know what I'm saying? It's like, the one thing I just tell people, don't do shit for shit in return. Mm-hmm. If I do a favor for you, also, I'm not doing it because you're going to do something for me. I'm doing it because that's what I do for my people.
Yeah. And
if you ask me to do something and I can't do it, I got you. If I can't, I'm going to tell you, but I'm not going to. And if I can't do it, I guarantee I can find somebody who can.
Yeah. And of course, in the back of your mind, you're hoping that what you're doing is going to come back around in a karmic kind of way where you're doing something for somebody. And so that maybe in some way down the line, they might have my back, if I need them for something. And they will.
It might not even be you. It might, what I'm saying? Because I understand how the game, you might get into a place where you're not in a position to give people any love, any hookup. Mm-hmm. I get that too. But it might not be you that hooks me. It might be something else. Like, it could be the universe just bringing me something. And this is this gig, what I'm saying? Like, losing this one gig hurts, but knowing that I have this other gig that's an opportunity as well makes it okay.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, the universe provided something else. Maybe that gig wasn't meant for me. Who knows? That gig might go terribly awry. Something might happen. They might get shut down. The venue could catch fire the night before. Who knows? It might not have been the place for me to be at. So I'm going to go where this person who was like, I'm going to say begging me. She's not begging me. She's, very adamantly asking me to do this show.
The universe is pulling you there.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Boom. So I'm going to go there. And this other opportunity might pop up again. Like, hell, somebody might drop off. And they'll call me and say, hey, we need you to jump on because somebody dropped off. And at that point, I'd be like, well, now.
Yeah.
See how the tables have turned.
Yes.
Well, since I'm going to miss out on this money that I'm making at this show, I need you guys to compensate me double.
Yeah.
And it becomes now I'm the driver's seat, but that's not here or there. That's not the focus. The focus is
that's just leverage.
Do what's in front of you.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just do what's in front of you. One thing moves from in front of you, there's something else behind it that you can put in front of you.
Well, I love that mentality, and that was like I try to constantly return myself to thinking like that everything is in its right place and where it's meant to be, and things are happening, for you, not to you. And it's just about your response is the most important thing. And,
I just said that today.
Yeah.
I said life is 10% what happens to you, 90% how you respond to it.
Yep.
And I'll say I haven't always responded very well in that 90%. So I'm working on that. That's what I'm working on now. That's one of the things that
you and me both.
The strengths I need to work up is not responding to things all the time, because everything doesn't require a response. Like, yeah, this is, I could go off, I could go on phase, I could, rant on, but it's like, what's the point?
Yeah.
I got another opportunity that's going to happen down the line. I'm not dead yet.
I feel like I know you have a propensity to respond at some things, but I feel like it was just fun for you for a while to be exposing a little bit of the hypocritic perspective that people have now. And this, it's like that saying, if you're walking on ice, you might as well dance. And I would see you every once in a while on Facebook going, there's Chris Riggins dancing. There he is. He's fucking pirouetting out in the middle of the frozen lake. He's just out there, baby.
It's fun because, like, what I've kind of learned in my time on this planet is no matter what you say, somebody's going to always disagree.
Mm-hmm.
And before we had Facebook, you just didn't deal with that because you had a circle of people that you were able to select who were in your life, who either, if they did disagree with you, it was always, on a level of respect.
Yeah.
Now you're entering the world of social media where any asshole with a computer can disagree with you and say things to you.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's always fun to me to point out people's hypocrisy, because what I notice is people really care more about shit when it affects them, but they pretend to care about other shit. And it's like, you don't give a fuck about that for real.
It's funny. It's like people think that they're doing that from a good place, like they're being there for each other by looking out for each other, but it's like it's really more divisive and damaging than they think it is. They're really not being there for each other. They're being there for themselves and trying to get the attention of having that opinion exactly that's accepted by the herd, and now the herd charges behind them, and for a minute they're leading the pack, but not really.
Everything that I say, all my opinions are 100% mine.
Yeah.
Now, if you disagree with it, that's great. Cool. Disagree with it. You can disagree with me. You can say your point. I'm at the point where I don't owe you an argument. I don't owe anybody a debate. I said my point. This is my opinion. You can disagree or not disagree. You can state that you disagree or state that you agree. Either way it goes, I'm going to still feel the same way. Unless you could present me with some information that will change my opinion, because I believe in informed opinions. Not necessarily always educated opinions, because it's not like I go research, study things extensively, but, educated in the sense that, some informed in the sense that I do know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
And I'm making this opinion based on experience and all these other things. And so I don't necessarily worry about people disagreeing. And I think that's the problem. People want people to agree with their opinion no matter what. And they have to come to understanding that, no, your opinion is not fact. Your opinion is not always right. Your opinion is yours.
Yeah.
And if people disagree with it and you put your opinion in a public space to be disagreed with, then don't be mad when people disagree with it. And don't, don't take people agreeing with it as you're right. Because, millions of people agreed that Hitler was right at one point. So, were they right? No, they were all wrong.
Yeah.
So you could be agreeing to something that's very wrong.
Absolutely.
And that's the problem. People have gotten to the point with social media where it's like, I have 10 likes on this hot take I have of something that really ain't that informed opinion. So that means I'm validated. These 10 people said I'm right. So therefore, you telling me you're wrong with all your facts means nothing.
Yep. Because how could these 10 people be wrong?
Yeah. It's the core to ego.
Yeah. Well, it's also we're very much in that game show buzzer mentality too, where everyone's so terrified of having the wrong answer that doesn't align with the pack's mentality and their goals and their agenda. And so the second you hit that one, you're afraid of the buzzer and all the attention turning onto you, and now you're in the wrong just because there's fucking 99 other people that disagree, but they could be 99 of the the most wrong people fundamentally in the world that just happen to agree on something that's fundamentally wrong. Anyway.
There's an ex fake ass comedian that hangs around our Facebook scene pages with the initials of JAG, who it's like this dude preaches that I am a racist, and for some reason it just doesn't matter, because it's like him calling me a racist is like, it's not true. So it doesn't make it. It doesn't bother me that he says it. He thinks it does, but it doesn't bother me. It's like, yeah, you're just making shit up now. You're just saying whatever the fuck you want to say, and that's just the problem. People just want to be felt. Because people want to feel heard.
Yes.
People want to feel like somebody respects their opinion, no matter how trash it is. And unfortunately, social media has given those people a voice to be heard and followed.
Yeah.
And listened to.
And
then
agreed with
when they get
at
called.
least.
Yeah.
And
now when you.
Sorry.
Yeah. No, go ahead.
I was just gonna say they can get that sort of validation, that feedback loop where suddenly they think that they're getting, all the momentum in the argument. They're like, oh my God, all these people agree with me.
Yeah. Yeah. It's like, I don't ever look at who likes my comments or who agrees with me. I say a point, and if I feel like, if I feel like going deeper on my point, I will. If not, I'm gonna bounce.
Yeah.
Like they'll tell people, I got friends that run to me all the time. Like one homie always running to me, he's like, man, you just be leaving them fools hanging. Like, if I say something you don't like, and you give one comment and I don't respond, and then you comment again and I still haven't responded, so I know I got you.
Yep.
It's like, oh, I hit you. This is about you. It's not. I didn't even make it about you, but you making it about you.
Yeah.
Now I know this is you, because
and they're just exposing themselves.
Yeah, you got to double down on your defense.
Yep.
Like you gotta double down. Oh no, he didn't answer, so I gotta say something else. Like, I'm not answering, bro. I said my opinion. You're responding to my opinion. Keep that in mind. When I post my shit, you're responding to my opinion. I'm not responding to yours. You're responding to my opinion. So I have no obligation to engage with you in any conversation beyond what I said at the top of the page.
And I've always thought that, that's one of the responsibilities of the comedian, to kind of have challenging opinions or to challenge people's opinions. And I've always thought that you wore that mantle very well, of the challenger. Not necessarily the aggressor or like the provocateur. Like, you're not just being a dick, or you're not saying bullshit just to get a rise out of people, but you are challenging them a little bit and poking the bear, or, just in general trying to get people to really think about these opinions that they hold. And are they really opinions that you hold, or are they widely accepted opinions?
Where'd you get this opinion? I kind of equated to, like, how people go to church. I came up going to church. I don't know why I went to church every Sunday, because my parents made me go to church every Sunday. And then I'm supposed to somehow be attached to this religion for the rest of my life, because I was told I was supposed to be attached. And I'm not saying my parents are wrong or people are wrong for taking their kids to church. There's nothing wrong with introducing spirituality through religious beliefs to your kids at an early age. It's just a matter of explaining to them what's happening.
Yeah.
And letting them know that this is what the faith is about. This is what it's about. So that way, when that child turns 16, 17, they can decide, maybe I don't want to be in this religion no more. Maybe I want to go try Islam. Maybe I want to try Buddhism. Maybe, I want to try nothing.
And if you're in that religion, it's because you found God, not because someone told you about God. You made the decision, and that ties back to the opinion. It's opinion that you formed, that comes from you, not just that someone else said, hey, kid, just repeat this a bunch of times and people are going to pat you on the back.
A lot of people hold their parents' opinions and don't even realize it.
Yeah.
They're holding on to their parents' opinions, Like I've seen people go from being artists to not being artists, and then you hear them sounding like the parents. When are you gonna get a real job?
Yeah,
when you get this comedy thing up and actually focus on it. I'm like, I may not have a steady paycheck every 2 weeks. I may not have the security of knowing that if I show up at this job every day, I'm gonna get a better job and get promoted and all that. But one thing I can say is I am not miserable going to work for somebody else. I'd rather complain about the little money I make being a comedian, knowing I can travel all over to do this, as opposed to, sitting in a cubicle making somebody else money, pissed off because I didn't at least try.
And you know who you are, and I know who I am, and we know what opinions we have because we go out and hone them and share them, and we know who we are.
I tell people my damn opinion every night. I don't need to force it.
You have some of my favorite
pay
opinions
me to hear
too.
my opinion.
And you always give it constructively. And to tie it back to comedy, I remember when you started just kind of trying to poke and prod at me and mentor me kind of from afar. And it's like, when you're the older kid on the playground and you see some kid just fucking like stumbling in the tan bark and you're like, come on. And you just kind of like taught me how to stand up straight a little bit.
Don't go down the slide face first in the sand.
Yeah. Stand at the front of the stage. Don't start to walk backwards like you're afraid of everybody.
Yeah. Well, because like I said, like when I told you that, I'm looking at your size, I'm looking at the stage, and you're minuscule yourself in the back of the stage. I'm like, why is this tall ass dude look like he's my height?
Because I'm scared, Chris.
I know.
I'm retreating.
You have no fear. The only fear you have is fear itself, I guess. That's how the saying goes.
Yeah. The only fear is fear itself. That's right.
My Siri keeps popping up on my fucking computer. I'm gonna say something.
No worries. I know you got to get going, so we'll get you out of here in a second. I had a couple last questions though. This one I'm just genuinely interested in. Do you remember what your first bits were about? Like the first things you were trying to talk about?
The first bit I did was I talked about how this is my first time doing comedy. And it's going to be like the first time having sex. It's going to be a little awkward, might hurt, might be a little blood if I don't do it right. And then I did I believe a 10-minute bit about the Kardashians having championship pussy. Well, I was like, because that was the time Reggie Bush was in the picture.
Mm-hmm.
So I was like, well, Reggie got a championship. Lamar got a championship. Said the only one that didn't get a championship was the one that married a white dude. She fucked up. I said, let these white women be reparations for black men. Like it was amazing.
That's good.
that was some of the first things I talked about. And
let these white women be reparations for black men.
And then I thought I could freestyle comedy for the first couple of months until Matt Gubsner heckled me at the show. Like, you gonna tell some jokes? I was like, fuck, I gotta work at this.
Wait, you got heckled by a fellow comedian?
Yes, this is a different time, Austin. This is a rougher time in the comedy game. We didn't give a fuck. We used to go hard. You missed Dorsey's locker, brother. If you had been to Dorsey's locker, you would understand.
Actually, that is so funny now. I feel like the biggest bitch for saying that.
You got heckled by another comedian? They actually said something during your set? They didn't give you respect?
It was, you have comedians heckling each other. That's easy. That's easy to deal with. When you got an old lady that sits at the front of the bar, which is directly 2 feet from the front of the stage, and she sits with her back to you and will not turn until you make her laugh. But while she has her back turned, she will talk the most shit about you while you're on stage. Because while you have a mic, she has a better amplified location because she's at the front of the bar yelling to everybody looking at you. So,
at least if you're getting heckled by a comic, they're like a good improv partner. You might be able to get like a good jab or something.
Yeah.
A little back and forth repartee. But this lady's just pissed.
They always want to do. Well, see, the problem with the comics, they want to do inside jokes. They want to make you, and it's like, they want to heckle you with inside shit. Like, these people don't know what we're talking about, sir. They don't speak comedy lingo.
Yeah.
They don't know what was happening, so they don't know that. So maybe not. But yeah, the old lady, she was the best. She bought me drinks. She was sweet. I think she tried to fuck me one night, but I wasn't prepared.
I never got heckled by another comedian, but I did have people talk into my phone as I put it down to record my set, and just kind of like narrating over my set and kind of like giving me the play-by-play, like that really didn't land, and you fucked that one up.
Oh God, that's so funny. I'm gonna do that to somebody now.
And then after the set, they were like, "Yo, that was really good. You should go back and you're hitting shit different tonight. You should go back and check out that tape." I don't know what it was about tonight, but you were on.
That's funny as fuck, yo. I would do that. I would totally. I think we should start doing that, filming comedians react.
Oh yeah,
the video.
When
we just tell comedians, we'll film your video and we will critique it as
Yeah, just do it.
as he goes
Do it like a dad taking a bad family picture where when they're trying to film their set, you just turn the camera around and you're filming your own face. And it's just you sitting there for 10 minutes instead of their set. How much would that piss you off?
Callback.
Oh, fuck me up. All right. Well, yeah, I know you got to get out of here. One last thing I wanted to ask about, because
All good.
obviously it's been a big part of your career. When did you get discovered by Dave Chappelle? Tell me this story.
I don't know if I got discovered by Dave Chappelle. Actually,
Yes, you
the
did.
funny thing is, no. Here's the story behind that. Actually, I got discovered by Dave Chappelle's friends,
Okay.
who lived in the Bay Area, who live in the Bay Area. I think they both still live here. Lived in the Bay Area, and they basically, I was doing my usual talking shit to them, clowning on them, and they just kind of said, "All right, well, if you think you're funny, why don't you open up for Dave in 2 weeks?" And I was like, whatever, y'all don't know Dave Chappelle. And I found out they do, and they put me on stage in front of Dave Chappelle. So it's funny. It's like I didn't really even get to know Dave until like a few, maybe 6 years into my career when I moved to LA. And I finally got one-on-one time with him because I would see him at the Comedy Store. And by that time, we had a relationship. He knew me. We hung out in San Francisco, but it was always with a big group of our friends, our mutual friends.
Yeah.
But in LA, I got to get the one-on-one time with him. So that's when we kind of got really close and not really, closer, I should say.
Yeah, but
but yeah, that's kind of right. But yeah, he didn't necessarily discover me because I would, if he discovered me, I'd be in Austin right now at Stubbs Barbecue. But
I mean, you could say that, but weren't you also at Chappelle's summer camp? So I don't know. I'm gonna
but
stick
I didn't get
with.
to perform. I went there just to hang out. Actually, the reason why I went to Chappelle Summer Camp was to hang out with Kweli. Because that's my bro.
Yeah.
He seemed like he was a little down, and so I wanted to hang out with Kweli and a couple other people. And it happened to be Dave's camp. No, actually, because Dave's birthday is also in August, and I'm in September, so we're Virgos. So I kind of went to, I think this would be my third year in a row. That was my third year in a row being with Dave on our birthdays.
You're early September? You're a Virgo? I'm late, so I'm a
September
Libra.
10th.
I'm the 27th, so I'm,
Nobody's perfect. My daughter almost wasn't perfect. She's on the 19th.
Yeah, you made her just under the wire. Just got her in there.
Whew, she's been tough living on the street as a baby.
Well, man, I'm going to stick with the you were discovered narrative because, I mean,
whatever works.
maybe not discovered, but supported. Let's go with that.
Yeah, it was supported. We'll say,
which almost means more.
By.
Which almost means more because anyone can, turn over a rock and discover something. But to say I'm going to keep this person with me. This,
he definitely makes sure he's definitely like that. He definitely accepts me in his life. Like, he told me several times when I was in Ohio, just on GP, like, I'm glad you came.
Mm-hmm.
I'm really happy you're here. It's good to see you, those type of things. So he's a really good person. And, we gel on another level. I think because we're so similar as Virgos, we have an unspoken kind of bond that, only Virgos have. Sorry, Libra.
Can you remember?
I bond with you too as Libra, but,
but I'm always like just on the other side of the fence as the Libra, looking over at the Virgos.
Yeah, but you guys got your own party.
Yeah. I got the same birthday as Lil Wayne. It's all right. But what do you remember the first bit of feedback you got when you opened for him that time, or did he have anything to say about your set?
The first bit of feedback was him roasting me. He didn't really roast me. He was like, he actually got up there. He said that shit. He said that was hilarious. And I was sitting on the side of the stage because there was no way I was gonna go to the green room.
No, yeah.
I was sitting on the side of the stage, and he asked me, he's like, "This is really your first time doing comedy?" I said, "Yeah." He said, "You're fucking pretty good for the first time." And then he proceeded to roast me about my outfit for a minute. So that's how you know Dave got love for you, when he roasts you.
Yeah. It's like the opposite of the Tony Sparks. I mean, Tony Sparks would roast you, but it was like a complimentary roast. It was interesting. It was
sexual.
Yeah, it was a little. There was some love there, and you didn't always know how you felt about that love.
Exactly.
Okay, well, maybe not the first advice, but I'm trying to think. What would be a good nugget that he passed down to you that we could share with any other budding comedians that might be listening to this one day?
one thing he told me that I still hold on to this day is don't sit around watching a bunch of comedy specials. Don't sit around watching comedy religiously, because then what happens is subconsciously you start writing that material down.
Yep.
You start writing that cadence down. The next thing you know, you're performing Jerry Seinfeld's bit from 95 because you literally watched it over and over and over. Like, people ask me, have you seen the such and such special? I watched 5 minutes of it, then I turned it off.
Yeah.
Because, you know, not to say hear one comedian, hear them all, but I spend enough time in comedic settings that I don't need to sit and watch a bunch of comedian visual. Yeah, but just don't sit around watching a bunch of comedy, because you got to have experiences too. So go out and experience life, you know.
Yeah, I like that. I mean, that makes a lot of sense too, because sometimes I kick myself. I'm like, man, I'm not keeping up on the specials. I'm not, watching. Nate Bargatze's had a special out for 4 days. I haven't seen it or whatever.
I don't even know what the fuck that is.
Yeah, and
I mean, no disrespect to that man. I mean,
no.
I'm pretty sure he's probably far more known and paid for this than me. But honestly, I don't know who he is because I don't pay attention to that. I pay attention to Austin Carr. You know what I mean? I'm watching Story Moore, and I'm watching people that I know grow. I'm watching Tammy T. Love. I'm in that zone as opposed to. Because that's also how I look at my hip hop.
Mm-hmm.
Like right now, one of my friends is sitting here, Tim House. He's a world renowned tour for some of the biggest hip hop groups, and some of them are our friends, and most of them are the only hip hop I listen to.
Mm-hmm.
I'll listen to my homies.
Yeah, you curate your own experience. It's like a custom made life.
Exactly. I like being around comedians that are sharing the same experience. So yeah, don't watch a lot of other people's comedians. Enjoy the time you're in, explore, have life, all that good shit.
Hell yeah. Well, I think that's a good note to end on. Explore, live life, have experiences, and find your own voice. Live in your own bubble a little bit. Custom made life.
Exactly.
And
Bubble
people,
boys.
If you're out there, find yourselves a Chris Riggins. God, I mean, find someone that supports you and that you can look up to and learn from. Find that ally in your comedy community wherever you're at, because you have been like a lighthouse for me in my career, where I'm always looking to you for inspiration, even if you don't know it.
Man, I appreciate you, Austin. I really do. I love you. I think you're a bright, talented person. You have a sweet, beautiful spirit. I love your pops. Tell your pops to say what's up.
I will.
I can tell you. I can, from talking to your dad, I can see where you get this bright comedic spirit. Like you're supposed to be a comedian. All right, because you have a spirit that makes people feel better. So I want you to keep doing that. Keep making that happen. Don't quit. Keep making people smile no matter what it is you do in life.
Oh, yeah.
Always remember that.
Oh, man, thank you. I promise. As long as you do too, all right? As long as I know that you're out there fighting the same fight with me, I'll be there right by your side.
Bet. I got you.
Hell yeah, dude. Well, listen, anything you want to plug before I let you go for the rest of your day? Where can people follow you online?
We'll be at follow me at Chris Riggins Comedy on Instagram. I don't like people to follow me on Facebook anymore because I be getting too deep on Facebook and I need comedy fans to know my jokes. So follow me on Instagram, Chris Riggins Comedy. You can catch me at the Copper Spoon Thursday through Sundays in Oakland, 4031 Broadway. And also you can catch me on Instagram doing a bunch of shit. I got a smoke session I do every Thursday. And then I got a couple of studs I do on Tuesday nights with Tammy T. Love. So.
Hell yeah, dude. Thank you again for making some time. I know it's fucking crazy time right now. Everyone's kind of like getting the gears turning in their lives again. And so I know everything's going on, but appreciate you sitting down for like an hour and we'll do this again sometime soon, hopefully in person.
Definitely awesome. Can't wait to see you in person again.
All right, dude. I love you.
All right, man. I love you, bro. I'll talk to you in a minute.
See you.
All right, man.
Wow. What an episode. Thanks for tuning in. Make sure you like, subscribe, share with your friends. Tell your people. Tell them that they can come be people with our people. And we could all be people of Earth together. Make sure you follow us online. We want to hear from the people, so send us an email, reach out to us, and stay tuned for more. We'll see you next time.
Good morning, people of the Earth.
We interrupt our program at the request of the White House.
This is a test.
Some very strange events have been taking place recently.
The emergency broadcast system.
This is only a test.
Furnishing news, official information, and instruction as soon as possible.
Is there a point to all this? Let's find a point. The world is like a ride at an amusement park.
This is only a test.
This is just a ride. And we can change it anytime we want. It's only a choice. No effort, no work, no job, no savings of money. A choice right now between fear and love.
A small group of warriors have taken up the fight on your behalf.
It's been activated to keep you informed.
The Earth is where we make our stand.
You, the people, have the power to make this life free and beautiful.
People of the Earth.
People of Earth.
People of Earth.
If you are not,
People.
tune to a station furnishing information for your area.